What fake thing that happens in movies pisses you off? Digging graves in wooded areas. There are fucking roots everywhere. You can't dig a 6-foot grave with a pair of shovels in an hour. That shit takes time. Where a witness confesses on the stand, there's sudden surprise prosecution evidence, witnesses monologuing on the stand, minimal hearsay objections. So much forensic evidence. Drives me batty. Objection, Your Honor. On what grounds? Witness is narrating. Sustained. Movie over. When someone throws a grenade into a building and the whole building blows up. Grenades in movies either destroy everything in a mile radius or they are the equivalent of light shovel. There is no in between. Mafia guys, mobsters or hitmen, people who are in the business of killing people and disappearing inconveniences, are intentionally clumsy or stupid when it comes to kill the protagonist. No double tap, overcomplicated killing, taking their sweet time, not putting more than 1 or 2 henchmen for a particularly dangerous hostage. Overcomplicated killing, aha. Now that I've got you in my inescapable death trap, I'm just going to leave now and trust that the trap will kill you just fine on its own. I have no interest in seeing you die or watching my fiendishly complex contraption actually do what I designed it to do. I've got to get going if I'm going to be able to stop by the grocery store and the gas station on my way home. Bye. 10 minutes later. No. How could you have possibly escaped my inescapable death trap? Shooting the monitor as a way of stopping the computer. Alright, let me tell you the good news, we don't need the monitor. Or shooting the hand ID scanner and the automated door will slide open. The fresh out of college student scoring a great apartment in a swanky part of town while working minimum wage job for themselves. In reality, you'd have 4 roommates for such a place, or you're living in a dump in a bad part of town. In reality, you'd have 4 roommates for such a place, or you're living in a dump in a bad part of town. You'd have 4 roommates, and you're living in a dump in a bad part of town. And they and their friends always get the same table at their usual hangout, like it's reserved specifically for them. How terrible the bad guys are at shooting. And good guys just pull out a gun while running and shoot a dude dead from across the parking lot. In British soaps, which are shite in general, everyone goes to the pub every day but no one ever gets drunk. They also order a pint, take 1 sip and then just leave. Okay. But please tell me that your quaint country villages really are high society murder mills though. I've watched enough BBC TV to know they're the most dangerous place on earth. Fire, lava, etc. has no heat. People can be suspended over a volcano, or in the case of The Hobbit, surf on molten metal and no one gets so much as a blister. Add to this, characters falling into the lava and sinking like it's just glowing yellow pudding. Setting aside that they'd probably actually burst into flame and steam on contact, if not before, lava still has the density of rock. You ain't gonna sink into that. I remember a movie in which they stopped lava from entering the city using concrete blocks. And then they tried to cool it off by spraying water on it. A truly amazing scene. Gift wrapping the box and the lid separately. I mean, I get why they do it, multiple takes, but it always sticks out to me. Also, every bag of groceries has French bread. All the groceries, apart from the French bread, are spherical items like oranges and melons, and they always drop them and they roll away. I can see your first point, but damn it, every grocery bag should have a baguette in it. Movie depictions of childbirth are often ridiculously wrong. They make it look so easy, quick, and clean. This is not the case. The baby comes out clean and 3 months old. My kid came out of a cut in my wife's stomach, 9.5 pounds, and looked like a screaming bloody fat purple sumo wrestler. Seeing my wife with her stomach open like that has been scarred into my mind. I'm glad she had the screen and couldn't see. After a hit to the head or being knocked unconscious, people are fine after a minute. Concussions don't seem to exist in movies. It's super bad for you. Archer often acknowledges this. Knocked out person, regaining consciousness, how long was I out? Archer, 4 hours. Knocked out person, having missed some time sensitive event, what? Archer, laughing, I know, right? Super bad for you. Whenever some idiot is running on foot while being chased by a car that's trying to run them down, they without fail always run straight down the middle of the street, when all they have to do is simply run off to the side where there's trees and lamp posts and plenty of other shit to block them from getting hit. In that case, I always root for whoever's driving. This is common when running away from almost anything. Big boulder chasing you down, run straight, never turn. Some tall skinny pillar falling down, run lengthwise, don't try to sidestep it. Or when they do run to the side, it's always at the last second for style points, when they could have sidestepped it from the very beginning, but it wouldn't have looked as cool. The member of the group that sacrifices themselves for no reason. Go on without me. I'll never make it. Yes you will, I'll carry you. No, seriously, go on. The writer needs me to die here so that I'm not with you guys when you need me later, or so that you can use me as he would have wanted you to. Excuse. It's even worse when there's oncoming doom, someone decides to sacrifice themselves, but everyone still just sits and watches instead of escaping, and no one is better off from the sacrifice. When they give a person CPR and the person walks away unscathed. When you give proper CPR, you are essentially breaking ribs to pump the heart, and sure, it doesn't happen to everyone, but still see a doc after that, and anything medically related like EpiPens being used, then magically all normal. All of these require being looked at a doctor/emergency care directly afterward. So, I've had to use Epi for anaphylaxis, and it is bonker balls. Like, my whole body started vibrating for 2 solid minutes and I wanted to fight and cry, and I was so mad at absolutely nothing. But this student paramedic was monitoring me to make sure I didn't have a heart attack, so I felt obligated to be nice to him. I had to try really hard to keep my inside voice from moving to outside voice. I could see more things, like my field of vision was more clear and the room was brighter. Then, afterwards I had to get liters of saline and steroids via 4 and was still at risk of rebound reactions for 24 hours. And every muscle in my body hurt and I was exhausted. Amazingly though, it did almost instantly stop the anaphylaxis. My throat relaxed, my mouth stopped tingling, my legs stopped itching. Head to toe in probably 3 to 4 seconds. Just wild. The old out of the blue intentional T-bone car accident. Like the bad guy is psychic and knew when and where to be, and is totally immune to the flow of traffic, so they could time it just right to T-bone someone in an intersection. Absurd. Not to mention it never seems to actually succeed in causing the death of the intended victim, nor does the bad guy ever seem to get injured at all. I wonder how many times the bad guy missed trying to do that before. Like he sets up his run for the T-bone but doesn't realize the intended victim stopped at a previous red light or stop sign, so the timing was all off. Homes are always spotless and ridiculously large. And inhabited by people who were taken from House Hunter's central casting. She is a part-time kindergarten teaching assistant. He plays the tambourine in a Fleetwood Mac cover band. Their budget is $12 million. People sneaking around inside air ducts. Don't get me wrong, in big buildings you absolutely can walk around in there, I've done it a lot, but they're dirty as sin, not gleaming metal, there are screws poking in there and sharp edges everywhere, there are lots of barriers to movement, fans, filters, humidifiers, dampers and fire dampers. All of those would stop your progress. It's not a quiet process, that metal bonds and clunks like crazy under your weight. Reminds me of the Mythbusters episode where Adam tries sneaking through a duct using magnets and it sounds like a damn cannon. Blue Streak or Die Hard springs to mind. Acting like an easily removable piece of duct tape silences someone. When I was a teenager I played with duct tape often, and I felt the need to test this trope. I put a single piece of duct tape over my own mouth and gave it the best seal I could give. I was able to remove it with my tongue in just a few seconds. Yes. In real life it only muffles the screaming slightly. Hacking anything in seconds. I'm accessing the mainframe to open the security doors for you. Clickety-clack, click, click, clickety-click, rapidly I'm in. Other guy, you really are the best hacker, huh? Oh, I didn't hack it. I just typed admin in both the login and password fields. Must places never change that shit. Or when two people jump on the keyboard at the same time, lmao. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.